This is not the flag of the Confederate States of America. It's not American at all. This flag is Russian. When big Russian ships are moored, they fly the military ensign in the back, but in front they fly this flag, the Russian naval jack. Jack meaning smaller flag at the bow, parentheses front, that, just like the more important bigger ensign at the stern, parentheses back, signals a ship's nationality. So if you ever see a ship with either of these two flags, you know, Russian military. So give them a friendly wave, or scram as fast as you can! Whatever you prefer. Caution is in order though, because this design has been in use in Russia for a while, in all kinds of functions. Don't need to know them all, just need to know this flag, not Confederacy comeback, but Russian Navy. Why are they so similar anyway? Like, that's no coincidence, is it? You know what, Tato? Let's look into that. The Russian Jack consists of a red field, a narrow white cross, and a broader, diagonal blue cross with a white border. Reason for the crosses, as always, the Jesus of Nazareth fan club.
Amen!
The white one's St. George's Cross, after St. George. Who'd have thought? Mostly, but not always, red on white, as featured in the Northern Italy quartet of Bologna, Genoa, Milan, Padua, and the national flags of England, and... who knows it? Georgia? Yes, Georgia indeed. The blue cross on the jack, also from a saint, namely Apostle Andrew. Andy's cross diagonal, cause we've all been there. Sometimes you wanna nail someone for heresy, but all the upright crosses already taken. Loosen it up a bit. Pinch us like a mother. Silence! Great, thanks for that. Fishing trip's cancelled. As reward for his sacrifice, Andy now spends eternity warning people off rail crossings. Wait, coming any second. Right now. No, just a moment. Wait. Now. St. Andrew's Cross also pretty popular around the world, like in Scotland, Burgundy/Spain, and Jamaica. But both crosses on the jack not just as like and subscribe to Jeebus Cripes, but also with a direct Russian connection. Georgie's been worshipped in the Russian Orthodox Church for centuries, appears on the coat of arms of Russia and Moscow, feeding a dragon with his lance, is patron saint of Russia, and highest Russian military order, Order of St. George. That's where the black and orange comes from, by the way. Apostle Andy, post-JC, is missionizing all over the place, bringing the good word to Russia before anyone there even knows what a Russia is. Therefore, Andy, also a Russian patron saint, Russian military ensign, white field with blue Andrew's cross, and highest Russian order of all, Order of St. Andrew. Aw, that's so nice. How exactly the two crosses end up on the jack can't be reconstructed anymore, but similarities to the flag of a certain wave-ruling kingdom that's so united are probably no coincidence. Even more so since Big Pete, Tsar of Russia and highest flag decider, goes on an incognito trip to England only a few years earlier to get some info on how to build a navy. Then again, incognito for a 7-foot-tall Russian in England, only marginally useful. Pleasure to meet you, good sir. Hello. Do you like naval warfare? That means he just nicked the jack from the Brits? It's not quite that simple. As far as the two crosses are concerned, yep, likely just copied from the Union Jack. With the colors, it's a bit more complicated. White, blue, red are doubtlessly Union Jack colors, but around 1700, when the jack design flows from Big Pete's quill, Russian ships have already used white, blue, red for 32 years. So, jack colors are just Russian national colors. Right. Jack influences in one picture. George's Cross and Andrew's Cross from the Union Jack, from England and Scotland, but both also Russian patron saints, and white, blue, red from the Russian national colors. So what's the Russian Jack got to do with the flag of the Confederacy? Nothing. Looks similar, but that's about it. A vague connection can maybe be made through the Scottish Andrew's Cross, but otherwise, just coincidence. No! Darn it all to heck! Such coincidences do happen a lot. Just look at Romania and Chad. Historically not massively connected, but their flags almost identical. So much almost identical that you didn't even notice that I switched them. Flag similarities of course especially weird when they concern two countries that, on multiple occasions, nearly bombed each other into nuclear nirvana. Atomic annihilation joke. Classic. Still so surprising not. red, white and blue are by far the most popular national flag colors, and crosses, no matter if upright or diagonal, since the Middle Ages, more often on coats of arms and flags than church pew kneelers on pilgrimage. It's just bound to happen that two very similar flags appear in two completely separate places. Actually, make that three, cause flag of the Basque Country like this. With the Russian Jack, again, no historic connection, but design pretty darn alike. And the colors they use, simply from the national... Wait a bit. In 1700, Russian Tsar banner yellow and black, so the Jack should look like this. It doesn't. And today's national flag, also the same colors. Where on earth is this white, blue, red from? Cue other Western European naval power with close contact to Russia, first destination for the Big Pete incognito trip, and formative influence in the beginnings of the Russian Navy. Who's that? Let's hear it. Little magic trick, we take the Russian flag, push red to the top, blue and white to the bottom, and that's... Wait, don't tell. The Netherlands have the original tricolor flag. Before France, before Italy, before Germany, the Netherlands, already in the 1570s, used a national flag the way we understand it today. 3 sleek stripes of color representing a people, not a dynasty of rulers. Today, nothing special. Back then, special indeed. Typical European country flags of the time, like this, or this, or this. Or this, or this. Full with heraldic junk and tinsel from top to bottom. Against that, 3 simple colors and nothing else, completely revolutionary. And this idea keeps spreading. Nearly every one of today's innumerable 3-striped national flags, Austria not, descends from this one flag. Also Russia's. But Russia goes a bit further still. Many countries adopt the 3-stripe concept, slap their own colors on it, all goody good. Russia, however, adopts the 3-stripe concept and most likely also the Dutch colors.
Quite a theory, Django. What makes you think that?
1668 is when Russia's first white and blue and red flag appears. Often, European national flags hail from long-established coats of arms and banners, which makes little sense for the Russian one since, you know. And I know full well what you're gonna say now. What's with the St. George's Dragon Slayer coat of arms of Moscow used in the coat of arms of Russia? White, blue, red, no? Today, yes. Back then, not always white, blue, red, but white and red, and maybe a bit gold or black, but always a bit different. Blue only becomes Moscow coat of arms regular after it's already a Russian national color. What's this grand thing happening in 1668 that makes white and blue and red into Russian colors forevermore? Now what could that be? The construction of a Russian ship. What? Built with Dutch expertise, manned with Dutch sailors, commanded by a Dutch captain. Oh. What exactly that legendary first flag looked like, we can't say, but thanks to this depiction in a woodcut from 1700, we can assume it's not a tricolor, but rather this flag from a flag book dated 1695. The same flag book also features a different design, once with the Tsar's double-headed eagle, once with a hard to see, because cleverly blue on blue, Andrew's cross. Let's take off all that stuff, and what we're left with is the white, blue, red we know and love. Well, no. We're not quite done though. As the Netherlands influenced the Russian flag, Russia influences
Word repetition, points deduction.
serves as a model for a flag agreed on in 1848, the Pan-Slavic colors, and resulting from it, the flags of Yugoslavia, Serbia, Croatia, Czechia, Bulgaria, yes, I know that's green not blue, and Slovakia and Slovenia take the easiest road of all, simply copy the Russian flag, then put their own coats of arms on top. As influential as white, blue, red may be abroad, Russia itself keeps struggling with it. In the first few years, Big Pete keeps experimenting a bit. 1693, he sails with a double-headed eagle tricolor over the White Sea. 1699, he makes a sketch of the tricolor with his own hands, plus color definitions. And 1720, he makes it the official civil ensign of his empire. That means all civil, so not state, not military, ships from Russia must fly this ensign. What's still missing though is an official civil flag on land. Now, why am I always talking about civil ensigns and civil flags and military ensigns and stuff? Because you're a nerd. Because there are countries like Greece, where only one flag does the job in all national matters. But there are also countries where different flags are used for different national functions. Of these, we usually distinguish 6 types. Civil flags, state flags, military flags on land, and again, civil ensigns, state ensigns, and military ensigns on water. The United Kingdom, for example, uses the same design for civil, state, and military flags on land, but on water, it uses a different one for every function. In contrast, Finland doesn't distinguish between land and water, but uses different designs for civil, state, and military matters. 3 different flags, all based on the same design, but in 3 slightly different variations. Which one's the national flag then? If we're really super fussy about it, we say none of them. Real nation flags have only those countries that use one design for all functions. To say Finland doesn't have a national flag is pretty dumb though, because Finland does have a single flag that's used and recognized all around the world as symbol of the nation, the civil flag, and that's the way it is in most countries. Therefore we can very informally say, even if it smarts a bit, the flag that's most strongly associated with a nation, that's the national flag. And it doesn't even matter whether there's a law saying so. The Union Jack is doubtlessly the national flag of the United Kingdom, right? Still, there's no British law saying this is our national flag. For the longest time, the same is true for Russia. In 1720, white, blue, red becomes the official civil ensign, and at least from then on, also the de facto Russian national flag, even if not officially proclaimed by human on ostentatious chair. Usually not a problem. An unofficial flag just needs to be used long enough by enough people, and at some point it just becomes obvious that this flag, and only this flag, represents the nation. In the case of Russia, there's just a small hitch. Competition from its own ranks. White, blue, red is civil ensign, but a ruler and therefore state flag is the yellow-black Tsar banner. So you have one flag representing the population and the country, and a wholly different flag representing ruler and state. How do you solve this mess? You pick one design and make it the national flag for all of the country? Yeah, not bad. They make a third flag now. Yeah. 1858, this thing's announced. Black, yellow for the Tsar flag, and white, most likely, so it's not completely identical to the Habsburg flag. And with that, everyone's confused now, because 2 tricolor flags with totally different color schemes in service of the same country. With this regrettable arrangement, there's a bit of back and forth until 1896 finally brings a solution. White, blue, red becomes the official national flag of Russia. Can you feel it? The safety and stability a single, undisputed national flag emanates. Hold on to it for a moment, and then... Back to gut-wrenching uncertainty. Black, yellow, white is still being used, because there's still a Tsar, and whoever loves the Tsar waves his colors. The people don't seem to love the Tsar all that much anymore though, despite him taking the bestest of care of everyone, which is why in 1914 this dull compromise is made. White, blue, red tricolor with Tsar coat of arms in the canton, so people can express their adoration for country and Tsar all at once. And with that, all's fine once again. What? I'm just hearing all's not fine again. The Tsar abdicates, there's chaos in the streets, and 5 years later, the communists take over the place. That means a new flag necessary again. Come on, man! In the Soviet Union, the national flag's also quite the point of contention, so they go from this one to this one, and 1924, finally to this one, which, apart from a few tiny alterations, essentially stays the same all the way to the USSR's expiration date of 1991. Because the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics is a country made up of smaller countries, every one of those has their own national flag as well, which, in Russia, changes from this design with text to this one with a bit more stylized text to this one with less stylized text. 1947 is when the comrades try a bit of standardization of Soviet Republic flags themed around the Union flag, which, if you have a look at the resulting completely uninspired designs with annoyingly random differences in size and position of star, hammer and sickle next to each other, doesn't turn out all that great. 1991, it's communism over, leading Russia to look for a new flag and find an old one. White, blue, red again becomes the national flag, this time without competitive flag interference. At first, it's still a 1x2 format long boy with a cute light blue, since Soviet predecessor also extra long and extra light blue. Only 2 years later, the flag's cut down to a classic 2x3 and the darker shade of blue of old returns. Much to the lament of this humble explainer peep, who, despite historic reservations, prefers the light blue version. And with that, my good Tato, we're done. 1693, Big Pete takes to the sea with a white, blue, red tricolor. The flag goes on a long, long journey and finally arrives 300 years later as the undisputed Russian national flag. Well, nearly undisputed. Hello, person watching this video. I need your help. I try hard to make every video the best it can be, but making something so elaborate takes a long time. If several months go by between videos, that's months I spend sitting at my desk, writing and rewriting lines, arranging illustrations, animations and sound effects, and weaving complicated information into clear narratives with just the right amount of silly jokes. Making only a few videos a year isn't a great financial decision, but it's the only way to ensure this level of quality. That's why this video, and all videos still to come, are only possible thanks to the generous support of my Patreon members. If you want to help me make the best videos I can for a long time to come, please consider supporting me on Patreon. And even if you can't or don't want to support the channel, you can still follow me on Patreon for free to get email updates so you never miss a video. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one.